So, what do Harry Styles, Adele, and Rihanna have in common? All of them have suffered from stage fright or anxiety or nerves before they go out there and perform on stage. So, this means that it's not just people like us, like you and I, that suffer from anxiety when we have to speak up in front of people at a meeting or answer questions after a presentation, or maybe we're invited to do a speech on stage. All those nerves and anxiety, ugh, if only we could get rid of them. So here's the thing. The only difference between those experienced presenters and performers and us is the fact that they just now know how to deal with it in the moment, or they found a way to overcome the anxiety. So I'm going to share with you in this video a variety of ways that they have done it and a variety of ways I have been taught to overcome my fears before I go on stage or before I do a workshop or training. And I'm hoping that some of these tips are going to help you. So let's get to it. Hi everyone, my name is Roshini and this is the Right Response with Rosh, where I get to share every week videos around topics of how can we respond better to people, to situations, to events, and sometimes that may mean getting on that stage. So getting on the stage could mean different things for different people, and for some of us it's just merely having to do a presentation or having to answer questions at the end of that presentation. So what are some of the tips I have around anxiety? Now I'm going to share with you 4 different ways that we can do this, but before I share that with you, can I remind you why this happens? It's that amygdala again, which gets hijacked. It wants to protect us, so it thinks that it's, helping us manage the situation. But the thing is, the amygdala tries to look out for threats. And so when the body feels like as if it's in a threat mode, our heart starts beating faster, the throat gets dry, the mouth gets dry. Sometimes what tends to happen is we feel a little bit of a shakiness, in our knees because we're getting ready to run. But there's nowhere to run when you are in front of people having to do your speech or speak or answer the questions. So let's get started on the first point, which is the fact that there is a very interesting connection between our state of mind and our state of body. So what can we do with the mind? Well, from what I understand, a lot of people do some positive self-talk. There is a saying that if you believe you can, you are right. And if you believe you cannot, you are also right. And I believe it was Henry Ford that said this. And I did some research on this, and there are a lot of entertainers out there who give themselves a little bit of a pep talk before they get on stage. They remind themselves that this is a brief moment. They remind themselves that they've got this. And when they go out there, they are going to enjoy it. They're going to embrace it. They are here because of the people that love them and adore them. Now, of course, for us, when we're doing presentations, perhaps we can't go into that kind of self-talk, but we can remind ourselves that we've got this. We have the product knowledge about what we're speaking on. We have confidence in ourselves. When people ask us questions, they're not trying to, trip us up, but they are there because they want to know, and they know that we know, and that's why they ask those questions. So it's really about embracing the moment, the questions, and also really remembering that we've got this, right? But what about the body? How can the body affect the mind? So if you want to have a relaxed mind, then you need to relax your body. So any warm-up exercises you can do, some stretching, some squeezing of the palms together and releasing, doing things like this can warm up your body and relax your muscles. And when that happens, it just relaxes the mind. If you want to know more about this, watch the TED Talk by Amy Cuddy. It's a brilliant TED Talk. shares a little bit more around how you can fake it till you make it, or rather fake it till you become it. For my second point, I want to share with you what Rihanna says. She does lots of vocal exercises before she goes on stage. And for those of us who are presenters, we might want to consider doing some vocal exercises, facial exercises, and that can really help us loosen up the throat so we don't have that dry throat so much. You can find simple exercises to do even on YouTube, or even simple humming or singing is a great way of warming up the voice. In fact, one of the things that I do is also breathing exercises. I know, why breathing? Because our voices are affected by our breath. And if we remember to breathe and we breathe deeply, doing, stomach breathing, or as some people call the 4x4 breathing, using some of these techniques can really help enhance the quality of your voice. And therefore, when you sound more confident, guess what? You will feel more confident as well. So what about my third tip? My third tip is to practice, practice, practice. There's no way around it. Really, and when I say practice, I don't mean thinking about what you want to do or want to say, but really articulating exactly how you want your presentation to go, which means that you may want to do it to a camera, or you may want to do it in front of a mirror, but really articulating the words that you're going to say is so important. Hearing it out loud is very important. And this was something that was shared with me by someone who is a TED Talk speaker. Because one of the things that they do is that they practice for hours and hours, and they get feedback and they get coaching. And, for us, when we're watching it, it seems like as if they are doing it effortlessly, but there's a lot of work that goes into it. So that would be my third point. So what do I have for my fourth point? Well, this is a tip that I got from Barbra Streisand. Now, some of you may know her, some of you may not, but she's just one of the legends of not only the movie industry. Sorry, actually, she was known first as a singer, but so not just as a singer, but a movie icon as well. Now, one of the things that caused her to have stage fright is that once on stage, she apparently forgot her words, so much so that she now has a teleprompter on stage. And I believe please correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the teleprompter is not only there to remind her of what to say, but also to remind her of the lyrics of songs. So for those of us, that feel a little bit more confident, in spite of all the practice that we've done, we want, some notes to have. I don't see the problem of having cue cards, cue cards that are around this size. I've seen people like Ryan Seacrest use them, and they use them quite effectively, and, always having it there, but at the same time, making sure that they are making eye contact with the camera and with the audience. So I don't see why, we too can't have cue cards. I think it works very well. Having said that, make sure that you don't write long sentences. It really is about having just your key points there and, having the confidence that your words will carry through exactly what you are trying to communicate to your audience. So there you have it. 4 tips on how you can manage some of that nervousness. Now, there is a saying too that nervousness never quite goes away. Another one I like is that it's not about the butterflies in the stomach, but it's about getting them to fly in formation, which I think is really cool. Really, at the end of the day is this, right? Nerves are a form of energy. And if you can maybe code it in that way, that your nerves and anxiety are a form of energy, and you embrace it and use it so that, it gives you that little bit more oomph when you're up there doing your presentation. Maybe that's one way of also managing that anxiety. I hope you have found this video useful. Please do subscribe and share with your friends if you feel that some of these tips really work for you. And I'm sure you have some tips and techniques on how we can overcome our anxiety. Please do share it in the comments, and They say sharing is caring, right? But really, at the end of the day, it's about us learning from each other. So please do share them with me so that maybe I can share them in my workshops as well. Till next week with another video. If you have ideas that you would like me to create a video on how to have a right response or a better response to a person, a situation, or an event, feel free to let me know as well. You can contact me wherever you see my email address. Please do go ahead and drop me a line. Take care and see you next week.